Okay, second time lucky. So welcome everyone. Super excited for this event. This is the first 100 Days of No Code demo day. So really looking forward to this one, and it's a new format, so we'll see how it goes. But before I go any further, for those of you that don't know, I just wanted to quickly clarify what 100 Days of No Code is, and also what no code is. So 100 Days of No Code doubles as a challenge and an online learning community. So the basic premise is that people learn to no code for at least 30 minutes each day for 100 days and post daily updates on Twitter using the hashtag 100 Days of No Code. We also help people in this endeavor by bringing fellow creators and learners together through our weekly stand-ups, AMAs with no code experts, a Slack community, one-on-one support, and of course, events like this. So you can find out more on our website and on our membership page, which I'll link in the chat below. So that brings me to what is no code. So there are multiple definitions, and I'm definitely not going to be trying to create a definitive one, because there isn't. But some go from creating software without code to tools that make building websites, apps, and software simple. But the bottom line is anyone can now build their ideas, because no code has democratized software creation. So just as phones gave rise to citizen journalists, we're now seeing the dawn of citizen developers, where people like myself, coming from a completely non-technical background, can now create software, which is pretty crazy. And I will link a few resources in the chat as well, that will help you get up to speed on what the heck no code is, and hopefully get you excited about it. So why have we actually set up this demo day series? Well, as it's now easier and quicker to build things, more things are being built with no code. But there's a disconnect between building and launching in the no code space. And we're seeking to bridge that by giving people an opportunity to and a platform to showcase, soft launch, and celebrate their no code projects. And for those not so familiar with no code, I hope it will give you a feel for what's possible, how you can get started, and be inspired by all these projects that have been created without a single line of code. So what is the format for this event? So we'll kick off by hearing from two no-code pros on their tips and tricks for launching. So we'll be hearing from Naya and Sharaf. Sadly, Jens can't join us tonight as he's had to rush to hospital, but you can connect with him on Twitter or his website, which again, I'll put all these links in the chat. And then we will start demoing. So we will start seeing these epic projects. And after each demoer has finished, it would be great to get a virtual round of applause just to show our appreciation for these projects, but also I want to open it up to everyone for any feedback you have, offers of support, any help you can provide, any questions you have. Drop them in the chat, or raise your hand on Zoom or physically, and I'll come to you and try and scoop that feedback up and send it to the makers. And just on, I know it's very boring, but just on some Zoom etiquette, throughout the event, if you could chuck any questions in the chat, and if you could keep yourselves on mute, that would be amazing. And lastly, before I sort of get this thing properly going, we want to give each project as much exposure as possible. So I'm hoping we can use the collective network of people in the room today to create some noise for each project using the 100 Days of No Code hashtag and Twitter handle at 100 Days No Code. Okay, so I'm going to put all that stuff in the chat, and I shall pass over to our first keynote speaker, who is Sharaf, and he's a serial no-code maker and product manager. So super excited to hear his thoughts on launching. So without further ado, I'll hand over to Sharaf to take it away.
Yeah, thanks, Max. Super excited to be part of this demo day. Excited to see all of your products. I actually was one of the the first ones to start 100 Days of No Code. So it's really an amazing program, and I feel like it brings community together. And Max did a fantastic job over the months, bringing everyone together and keeping the spirits high. And I feel like someone's chatting. Yeah. Yeah. So a little background about myself. Like Max said, right? I'm a serial maker. I ship like shit ton of products, and experiment with ideas, and build communities, engage with them, help them, advise them, and share my lessons, my 2 cents, what I learned from all the experience. So doing that since 2018. Found No Code. Super grateful for Ben Tossell and Mobs. They're the ones who introduced No Code to me personally. So I look up to them, and since then never turned back, and did a lot of stuff. You can find my website. I usually like put all my projects, sort of like a portfolio site. Yeah, so I wanted to like quickly talk about like a couple of things, and congrats to everyone who worked on all of your projects. And to me, you already won. Making itself, bringing the idea from 0 to 1 itself is the biggest win, and everything else is to me the bonus. So congrats to everyone, and good luck with all of your projects. I want to talk about like a couple of things. Like I said, right, it's about the mindset, the launch mindset, as well as what you need to do, and what I learned from my experience. So first of all, I would say like there are no tips and hacks to launch a product. It's basically the idea and the execution that matters a lot. So everything is bonus, like I said, right? Yeah, before I feel like launching a product on Product Hunt makes keeping eyeballs on your product, and it brings a lot of attention. So I highly suggest like people to launch on Product Hunt, and as well as there are like so many platforms like Indie Hackers and Hacker News, and it depends on the product and the audience you're targeting. So fundamentally, I feel like Product Hunt covers most of them, since it's a bigger community. So do launch on Product Hunt. And when I said about mindset, right, like have no expectations, meaning like expecting words upwards, or like comments and shares, likes, blah blah blah, all the numbers basically. Like I said, you've already won by taking the idea from 0 to 1, which is like the amazing thing. You're already a maker, you're already like doing something valuable to others. So to me, I feel like that's the kind of mindset you need to carry over the launch time. Be active on Twitter. I'm highly, I recommend people to be active on Twitter. Reach out to people through cold DMs. Let them know that, hey, this is something I worked on. This is the value I'm providing to the community. This is the product that solves the problem. And specifically on the Product Hunt launch, I would say narrate your story in a way that you're actually solving your own problem, obviously, right? So, and why you did this, instead of like putting it outside like blatantly. So narrate in a story, make it more of like personal, and how you solved it, and what is the problem, how you came up with the problem, and what is the solution, and what are you getting out of it. And people really like when when they hear a story more than numbers and stats. So do that for sure. And what else? From a logistical standpoint, I feel like you need to use Preview Hunt, which is really amazing before the launch. Use it to gather all the assets, and find a good hunter. It is not mandatory to have a good hunter on Product Hunt, but it helps people to like people to give the credibility. If someone is like Ryan Hoover hunts you, it's sort of like credibility. So definitely like find a good hunter. And I've hunted a lot of products, so I'm feel free to like DM me after this, because I know like there's a limited time. and I can't cover everything what I learned. But yeah, above all, like, numbers don't matter. You just have to like completely live in the moment, and do your due diligence, show care, address each and everyone who commented on the on product hunt launch. Like I said, DM people, approach them in a way that this is providing value or adding value to their lives, and ask for feedback. Always ask for feedback. Do not ask for upwards or like anything that's tangible. So let them know that you're open, you're transparent, you're willing to learn from the experience and what they wanted to give you back. In that way, like, you can iterate on the product you launched, and you can know like where the users are, where the audience is. So I feel like that's really important. And post launch, obviously, like, again, this is all part of building the community aspect. So share your numbers, like, how many people upvoted, how many people approached you, what are the numbers, like, you gathered through the launch, and all the analytics stats and whatever. So this builds sort of like credibility and transparency. You're being open to everyone. I feel like that's something you need to do as well. And yeah, again, like, address each and everyone, make it personal, go one-on-one, let people know, give demos or video calls, and explain like why you did that, narrate in a story, and I feel like you're good to go. So I would actually want people to ask me questions instead of me going one way, because I always prefer like people, it's making more interactive instead of like me dropping the lessons I learned. But anyways, you can always like reach out to me. I'm happy to come on one-on-one calls with you. Helped a lot of makers launch their products. Yeah, I'm open to questions. So
Thanks so much, Sharaf. Yeah, that's really really useful insight into launching specifically on Product Hunt. And for those that don't know, Product Hunt is the place lots of tech projects launch to get their sort of first users. I've put the link in the chat for you to check it out, but it's a great place to get your first batch of people on board your product. So any questions you've got for Sharaf, just put in the chat, and then I can direct them to him after the event, and he can get back to you. I can email that stuff to you. But yeah, I'm really excited to hear from Naya. Thanks so much for coming, Naya. I know you're always extremely busy, but it's awesome to see you here tonight.
by the way,
and
Naya is an OG. She's an OG. So you just have to get everything from her. So
exactly, yeah, precisely. So she's the founder of Pravis and Culturify, but she could tell you maybe a little bit more about them. So I'll pass over to Naya.
Hey, thank you, Max, for having me. I'm very happy to be here. This is very exciting. I can't wait to see what everyone has built. I feel like everyone's come a long way. I've been watching the hashtag. I know I might not have been very interactive, but I've been watching and seeing what everyone has been building, and it's been really great to watch. I do have to change this narrative of being so busy, because I need to kind of change that up. But yeah, I do a couple of different like things. So hey Doc, it's nice seeing you as well. So as Max mentioned, I am the founder of Pravis and Culturify, but what many people don't know is that I also do a lot of work behind the scenes. So I also help a lot of entrepreneurs that are in my same vertical with automating their newsletters and doing content creation. So just like another bit of my background. So I've also worked in tech for about over 10 years now. And I worked in IT, mostly in IT management. And it was really working with IT and IT management that I came across no code before it was actually called no code. I also do have have a coding background, but the reason why I'm so adamant about the no code movement is because it's been able to help me push forward my business, and it's been able to help me help other folks push forward their business as well. So I can also give a actual, like a very current background and example. This week I actually held a conference, and that was held over. It was, you know, we had our website built on a like custom static build, and things kind of went left. We had all kinds of technical problems, and me with my no code skills, I said, wait, like I have Webflow, like let me just get this up in like 30 minutes. And I literally rebuilt a coded static website in just 30 minutes on Webflow. And we were able to kind of change things up a bit. So that's like one of the many reasons why I love no code is that you're able to build a lot more faster. And what I do love too is that like you're not having to spend so much time like working on code changes and like having to deal with multiple pieces that come with coding. I feel that if you just choose your right stack, and if you find out what works for you, for some folks that's Bubble, for some folks that's Webflow, I think that once you find your stack and you find out what works for you, you can build almost anything, and you can build businesses, you can build projects, you can help others, and that's what I definitely really love. When it comes to like giving advice to folks who are makers and who are builders, one of the things that I definitely like to say is like, don't spend too much time on the tools. As you know, like almost every week, there's like so many brand new tools being launched in the like no code space, and it's like candy. It's like, you know, you see a new builder and you just want to like check it out and then try it, and then like maybe you know, kind of like move your project to this new platform. What I always tell people is that like just learn maybe Bubble, just learn Webflow, and learn what sticks with you, and keep going with that. And what I also say too is that like also talk to other people. So you have this this great community of 100 days of no code. This is the like perfect place to like talk to others, let folks know what you're building, and just also get some like feedback. And you can also, you know, talk to others, and maybe they can help you in areas that you didn't think of. And now I'll give some background of how no code has helped my company, Frauvies. So it's a Black woman in tech community, and we've been around for about 3-4 years. And so far I've been able to get by without having to hire anyone so far. And the way that I've been doing this is by Zapier and by using different tools to automate processes that usually would be done by a chief operating officer, or maybe if I was to hire a assistant. A lot of that work is covered, you know, through the different tools that I use when it comes to no code. So what's really cool is that I've been able to like build dashboards for our sponsors, for our partners. So, you know, we're very niche. So we're, you know, a community that's under 1,000 folks. And, you know, I've found it kind of like a bit difficult sometimes, you know, to find sponsorships or find partnerships. And so I was able to create a different system than what's usually offered today. And part of that is like offering our sponsors and our partners, you know, their own buildable experience. So that includes the dashboards, logins, reports, and they also get direct access to our members. So it's been really cool because I don't know like if this would be possible to like build and build so quickly, right? Like we've in the past 3 months, we've grown pretty large, and I've been able to like automate so much stuff, and like pretty much if like one of our sponsors asked to like, you know, to implement a new feature, we're able to get it done really quickly. So this is all really cool, and I just really love that, you know, no code gives me the tools and the power to do so. What I also would say too is that as you get deeper into the no code space, I would say to like find your niche. So outside of the work with Frauvies, I mentioned earlier that I also help other entrepreneurs with curating their content. And so that was something that kind of just happened. You know, I had one person ask me to help like find articles for their newsletter, and that can be very time consuming and very tedious. So I've been able to like use tools like Airtable and the Clipper to curate articles and photos for newsletters for other entrepreneurs. So that's been pretty cool. And I just wish that, like, you know, for everyone that is demoing today, to just like learn from my experience, learn from others, and just go out there and just build and just try things out, and just ship.
Amazing. Thanks so much, Naya. That was epic. And I've left your details, your personal website and Twitter in the chat, so people can follow up and connect with you offline, if that's all right. Cool. I'm gonna now enter into the demos. So I'm looking at Dan, because Dan is going to be first one up, and he's going to be pitching micro or micro, however you say it. Dan will tell me how and tell you guys how, but really excited for this one. And it's an app based in Adalo, but I'll let him explain and reveal all. So let me just make him a co-host, and he can share his screen. Cool. All yours, Dan. You're on mute, Dan.
Yeah, excellent. The phrase of 2020. Can you hear me now? Excellent.
Yeah, you're good. All good.
Excellent. And you can see my screen?
Yeah, we're good.
Perfect. Cool. Hello, I am Dan. I am a co-founder of a market research company, I guess, called Tectonic. And I am a no-code maker, I guess. I have a product called Micro, and I will show you what it is. So the story is, I'm a founder, I'm a maker, I'm a son, a friend, an artist, occasionally a human being most of the time, not particularly in that order in any one time. And I'm busy, and 2020 has been stressful, and it never really feels like what I'm doing is enough. I don't feel like I've been as attentive as a friend, been working hard on my business, doing as much music as I would have liked, and it gets pretty stressful. And there's always more to do. There's always something more that you could be working on, and it felt like I wasn't really managing it all. And I really struggled to remember all the things that I had done, because there was always so much going on. And I found that quite difficult to kind of balance and to find what balance was as a person in 2020. And as I mentioned, struggling to remember all the things that I've done because I've been so busy. I realized that whenever I did remember something, it made me feel like, okay, I was doing something. I was good. And I guess came up with this idea of Micro, which is a journaling app to help you remember all of your little wins. It's a bit like the James Clear, 1% thing, little steps taking you on the way to whatever you're trying to do, will allow you to remember those goals and reach those goals. And also wanted to find a little more balance in my week as well. So yeah, it's an app, journaling app, to help you find a little more balance in your week. So this is the product, and I will log in. So yeah, this is it. It shows you all the things that you've done in the last 7 days. You could add a new task. So let's say presented to the no code crew. It's good for my mind. And then that's the date. Let's say, okay, submit. Don't want to add another win. And then it adds it to my list of tasks that I've done over the last week or so. And then I can see the analytics. And the analytics are here to really remind me of all the positive things that I've done for community, friends, family, mind, my body, fun. But also it lets me know that I've been slacking on a few things. So in the last 7 days, I haven't really been doing that much exercise. So it prompts me to kind of exercise a little bit more. And then I can see the stats for all of my micros as well. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Really simple. And it's built on Adalo. So Adalo is one of my favorite no-code tools because it's like visual development. It's just really easy to get things together and understand where the data is going. And the backend is currently still in Adalo, but I've got a little bit in Airtable so that I can start extending some of the features. What's next? So a newsletter, because newsletters are very popular. Shout out to Sharath for inspiring us. Notifications. The concept was really around getting those like reminders during the course of the day to remind you that you have done something, so you can realize that you could do it and do more of it. Summaries of some of those activities, maybe sent in emails. A content feed of the categories. So seeing physical exercises, HIIT exercises. Say you're running a little bit low on your exercises, then you can see a little feed of that, or stuff to do with mind and mental health and wellness. Building a community, because I really do believe that communities are great and a really defensible kind of moat for building something good. And events, again, kind of linked to the activities that you've been doing. If it can see that you've been doing a lot of physical activities, maybe it'll tell you to go to a exercise class. I would definitely need that. And my vision, so, is to improve the world's mental health. Just grand vision, an impossible one that you can aim for continuously forever. And I want the app to kind of be a cross between like a therapist, a coach, a cheerleader, an assistant, just really just being there for you to kind of give you all the things that you need to get that balance in your life. Yep. And the help that I need, starting a newsletter. So sign up to a newsletter, beta test the app. I'm still getting feedback, talking to each of the users on there, trying to get as much information about what they want. Initially, when I first started it, it was like, I actually called it a reminder app, but a friend said to me that it's a journaling app. And I was like, oh, damn. So yeah, it's really good to learn what this thing is to your users. And feedback, because I want to make it good and helpful for people to help improve the world's mental health. And yeah, that's the link to the app, micro.win. And I recently set up my email address. So if you want to hit me up on dan@micro.win, you will get a response from me, Dan. Thank you.
Dan, you just killed it. Killed it.
Thank you very much.
If I'm like an angel investor, I would have like invested in you directly. No questions asked.
Excellent. I really appreciate that, everyone.
No, I'm being very serious. I think I don't know if we have time or not. I'm just like wanted to express, after watching a great keynote, right? So I'm really big on micro wins, micro actions, and it is really essential and important for makers like us who doesn't always get a major win. And, we take a lot of losses and we take a lot of L's, and I know that. And it is a behavioral thing which will change and shift the mindset altogether. And something like this will help personally, as well as like to grow openly in public. This is just amazing. I just wanted to let, you just won today, Dan.
Thank you. Thanks. I feel warm and cuddly, and that's definitely a win, a macro win, if you will.
Yeah, well deserved, Dan. Jesus, yeah, that was amazing, literally. Yeah, thanks so much for that. That was epic, and I think it's more important than ever because people don't have that separation now as they once did because they're working at home. So I think it's really important, and yeah. Wish you every success with it, but hopefully some people here can be part of that success. So I just wanted to know if there's anyone here tonight that's got any feedback, any way they can help Dan sort of move this forward and just get some more exposure and get more people using it. So anyone out there would be great to hear your thoughts. Just come off mute and yeah, give your appreciation and feedback to Dan.
Dan, like, let's talk about like, community aspect as well as newsletters. I can help you with that for sure,
Awesome. Thank you.
yeah, we can talk about product as well. But yeah, let's catch up like, after this call. But great idea and great product.
Thanks. I think I can see,
Hey, Vaughn.
I think there was some questions in the feed, maybe. I'm just trying to.
I just wanted to comment as like a user, potential user. So I'm not a no-coder. I'm just interested in the whole area. I love the simplicity of the app. So I suffer from like a memory impairment. So it's really hard for me to remember my small wins. And I've started paper journaling, but it's really hard for me to remember to use a paper journal because all my work is online, digital, constantly on my phone and my computer. So I can really see how useful this would be for me. I love your like summary so that I can see what I've neglected over the week, because I will forget that by the end of the week.
Yeah.
And yeah, I would just, my piece of advice would be to tread carefully how much you develop it, because it's the simplicity that is key at the minute. And there's loads of other kind of well-being apps out there, but they all do far too many things. So don't make it all singing, all dancing. Keep it really simple.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I think my concept was really just to try and keep it as micro as possible. I think there was lots of things that it could do, but I think that's really good feedback, and I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Hi Dan, that was absolutely awesome class as ever. I was just wondering if you would think about with your statistics, is that just over the week, or could you potentially broaden it to do a month or a year or something, so you can get sort of an overall picture of your progress from one point to another?
Yeah. So currently I've got the last 7 days in order to try and keep you in a loop of continual good micro wins. And then I've got of all time as well, all your wins over time. But I could easily break that up over the last 30 days or so, whatever is most useful to users. And then I'm starting to think about if there's any other stats I could generate from there. So like, what is your, what things are you doing the least? And then maybe prompting you to do them a bit more. So for me, it would be physical exercise. So yeah, and then trying to, and also remembering to call my mum. So just trying to give me little activities that I could do to prompt me to do more of them. So yeah.
Brilliant, congratulations, and I wish you success with it. You're doing a great job there.
Thanks.
Agreed, Dan. I think it was really nice. This is Thomas here. Nice to finally meet you. I've seen these recordings a couple of times. One of the things that I like is sometimes you have apps like this that when you first open them up, they'll randomly show you some type of win to kind of pump you up, or show you something that maybe you had forgotten about without actually going into the analytics. And that could be another way, sort of the mental health part, like when you open it up, maybe you're a little down and it instantly just reminds you of something that you did that's just random. Maybe a random win type thing. So
that's really nice. Yeah, I think that was, that's kind of like where the kind of idea stemmed from. I kind of imagined like a cheerleader saying, hey, like, called your mum last week, it was really good. I was like, oh yeah, I should probably do that again. So yeah, but thanks, that's really good advice.
Thank you. It was very awesome. Thank you. Nice job.
Just got some more feedback in the chat from Vaughn. So longer term, be nice to be able to compare a month with the previous month for the same year. That'd be really cool. And she loved the little reminders idea from Thomas. So yeah, lots of appreciation there.
Excellent. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, I just wanted to say the same thing, Dan. Really good presentation. Really nice app. And as Vaughn said, keep it simple. It does what it needs to do. And yeah, I think that's the charm of it, really, the simplicity of it. And the same again about comparing, week to the last week or something, so you can see progression. And yeah, Thomas's idea is great for just random reminders of how good you're doing. But yeah, really good.
Cool. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Cool. I think we'll leave it there on Yeah, that was immense. Thanks so much, Dan, for presenting. Thanks for your time. That was really cool, and I hope to see it sort of grow as it should do, because it's an immense app. Cool. So I'm now going to be passing on to Pierre. So let me just make him a co-host. So Pierre's made a very cool platform for no-code makers called No-Code Club, but I'll let him tell you more about it. So yeah, all yours, Pierre. Love to hear more about it.
Yeah, so my name's Pierre. Dan, you just raised the bar for all of us, so pressure is building up. You can see my screen all right?
Yeah, all good.
Okay, cool. So yeah, as I said, my name is Pierre. I'm the co-founder of Hello Tyro, which is a platform connecting students and startups for internships opportunities here in Belgium and France. And with my co-founder, we've also been collaborating on No-Code Club, where pretty much the aim is to be the gamified platform where makers can collaborate on their no-code builds. The origin story is kind of a personal itch where, I've always had troubles finding the place to go ask questions or the problems I have using certain no-code tools or, building some new features to an app. So that was really the goal is, a platform with really engaged makers who are, open to collaborate and help each other out with specific tools or specific problems. Let's get to the fun part and dive into No-Code Club. So right now we're in private beta, so we are asking for a little secret code to get in, and for you watching, it will be hashtag 100 days, which will allow you to join the club. And so for this, I'm going to skip this part to keep it short. So as a member, we think the core value of the platform today is our challenge feed, pretty much, where members can add or post the new challenge they have when building with a specific tool. So you can easily create a new one through this little form. Give a little title to a challenge. You can upload a Loom recording, describe what you're trying to achieve, and add the tools you're working with. That's one part, and the other part is, as I'm a no-code maker and I want to help others find solutions to their problems. I think Mark is here watching, so we'll go check out his challenge he posted a few days earlier. And so on the challenge page, you can see the full description of what Mark is trying to achieve. And as a member, I can come in and propose a solution if I have one. By describing it or even recording a quick video, and a little down you can see already solutions that have been offered to Mark, and you can even like those solutions. And that's also part of the gamification of the platform, where we really want to showcase the most active and helpful makers by rewarding with karma points. If you have any ideas of a better name, I've stuck with it because I don't have any other good suggestions. But you can check out a leaderboard where every time someone's going to post a challenge, offer a solution, he or she's going to get some points in return. One other aspect of the product so far is that by clicking on a JSON card here, I can see his no-code tool stack, some project he's working on, and even the challenges or the solutions he proposed and challenges he created. Last but hopefully not least is on my own profile, I can quickly create my maker page, say okay, I'm working on this, I'm using these tools. And see also the solutions I've shared, who liked it, and so on. So that's about it, about the dive into the product. No-code stack, maybe some of you have guessed, it's Bubble. Just amazed at what you can do with their tool. One resource I used a lot to help me build this was Gabby and her YouTube channel, Coaching No Code Apps, I believe it's called, where she has tons of awesome tutorials. And so if you're using Bubble or learning Bubble, I strongly recommend what Gabby is doing. For long-term vision, long-term mission vision for the project, well, first of all, our focus right now is to really build a community of awesome makers who enjoy collaborating and helping each other out with the different challenges and problems they run into while building with no-code tools. And then, more long-term down the line and assumptions we have is that collaboration between makers to build products is growing, and we already see people just say, okay, I need to find someone to build this, and well, maybe hopefully No Code Club could be a place for that. And another one, even a bit more down the line, is we have this big prediction or conviction that no code freelancing is gonna really accelerate in the next few years, and we hope that No Code Club could be a place for makers to find freelance mission, and people just to find the talent they need to build the first MVP or to automate some of their tasks using Zapier and so on. So that's about the vision we have for the dream platform, if it creates value for our members. And the call for help is better users. As Dan said, we want to get a good amount of members to really so they can take the product a bit through the mud, and tell us, okay, this is what's working, this is what I like, this is what I would need, and collect as much feedback as possible. And another one is we're trying to make No Code Club a place to showcase all the different learning resources revolving around no code. So if people are building, or creating tutorials or building projects which are aimed at makers to help them, choose their no code stacks or point them to the right resources, we'd love to collaborate and get you on No Code Club to really have a wide array of content and propose as much value to our members who are creating daily with no code tools. And yeah, I think that's about it. Open for questions and brutal feedback mostly.
God, I'm ready.
Perry, I think. Sorry, go ahead. Someone's talking.
Yeah, Perry. First of all, great. I loved it. I loved everything about it. I already signed up. One thing, I'm trying to add other tools, and I can't physically type it in. I can only pick different ones. And I work on some really random other platforms that aren't really known about. But other than that, I love the workflow, the email I got right away. And I mean, anyone that can do that in Bubble, you have my utmost respect for the rest of your life, because I would have heavily started drinking. That was a great site built in Bubble. That was awesome, man. And I love it. I love the video games. I love everything, the gamification. I'm a huge Street Fighter fan. So I've already signed up, man. It's awesome.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah,
and,
that was something I want to tell about. I think there is a lot of character, Perry. You brought a lot of culture and character to the product, which is, which will obviously attract people. And yeah, so what I would do is think about how you engage people with, with these events or whatever you're planning in the future. Because I think that's what I think Max can help you with, organizing, since he had a great experience bringing people together who are different, coming from different no code backgrounds. So I would only add that, but the product looks great, and like I said, you have it has a lot of character, and so which is really good. You're authentic in the language and everything. So.
Thanks a lot, Doc. You can now add your own tools down from the footer. We've tried to keep it, kind of focused for now as not to, because we could probably put out 200 tools on there, but I think it would bring too much friction for first version of the product. But now you can add your own, and if you need a specific one, well, let me know.
You're awesome, man. Thanks so much.
Great work, Pierre. As usual, yeah, really loved it. I think one thing that might be really nice is being able to label some of the questions as like beginner questions or like ones that are more advanced, because I think I'm going to be trying to learn Bubble soon, as inspired by you. And there are some things that are, as a beginner, I'm probably more likely to feel more trouble with than some of the more advanced questions. Same things with like Airtable or so. Yeah, but I think it's a really nice product, just really smart, and I think gamifying it and encouraging people to share and have those answers be public is really nice. It's probably also good for SEO. So yeah, really smart.
Thanks, Dan, and I'm taking a few notes to remember that feedback, and yeah, you're right. I think the level of skill level of questions is is important. Good catch, and thanks.
Yeah, I'd like to congratulate you, Pierre, on how far you've come in such a short space of time. It's pretty rounded as it stands. You've done an awesome amount of work, and it's a joy to use. I might just put an actual example on the landing page, of a question and an answer, something like that, just to represent what goes on behind the scenes. But yeah, I'm immensely impressed with what you've done there. The gamification thing is a great feature, and yeah, I just think it's an embryonic thing for all us no coders to get stuck into and help each other, and be unified in one central place. And yeah, I'm looking forward to see what you continue to do with it, and hopefully I'll stay at the top of the leaderboard.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Mark. And yeah, you're still at the top. Is anyone gonna come in and catch you?
So I have to admit, I'm shamefully right at the bottom of the leaderboard, which is quite embarrassing. Yeah, I'm going to have to make that up soon. But yeah, thanks guys for that, and thanks so much, Pierre. That's awesome. Hopefully we can sort of get some critical mass on the platform soon, because it deserves it. So cool. Now I'm really excited to pass over to Emily, who will be talking about product design stacks. So all yours, Emily. Really excited to hear more about it.
Sure. Thanks, Dan and Pierre. Great job. Let me just share my screen. Okay. Sorry, one sec, guys. Okay. All right, can everybody see my screen?
Yeah, all good.
Yes, cool.
Perfect.
Okay, so I'm Emily. I'm a product designer, and I found out about no code a couple of months ago. Like many of us, I was laid off during COVID, and I needed a way to update my portfolio super fast. And I was using WordPress, and WordPress was just going to be so hard, and going into the back end, trying to find a new theme. So I decided to find an alternative, and that's how I found Webflow. After I started recoding my website in Webflow, I noticed how easy it was, and that got me thinking about product design stack. Now, during that same time, I wanted to level up my skills in product design. I was trying to find a way to organize all this cool information that I was learning in one spot, and I had pretty much a keynote like this, but it had 50 or more pages, and I was just like, this is too much. I can't find anything that I need. Hence why Product Design Stack was born. So this document was actually something I created before I started designing Product Design Stack. So I'm kind of giving a behind the scenes look into how I fleshed out my idea. So what Product Design Stack is, it's a website created to provide quick resources for aspiring novice and experienced product designers. So I went through this list of like what the overview is. What is it? What's the problem statement? Right now, there's not a lot of cohesive resources for people to learn how to become a product designer. I also had some solutions, what my success criteria would be, multiple signups, even one, and the user stories. After that, I started going into what a full design stack designer has. Like, what do they know? They know user research, UX, UI design, visual design, branding, domain modeling, animations and transitions, and some code and development. And this was really for me to understand how was I going to break down all of these categories on the website and organize them in a cohesive, easy way. Then I started thinking more about the design architecture, which is kind of the same thing. So in pretty much UX, UI design, you have different design thinking processes. You have the Stanford D School design thinking process, the Lean UX cycle, and this is sort of a screenshot from a website that I'm going to show next. But this is a way that I was thinking of how to categorize every resource that I have. And then I started diving deeper into who is doing what I'm doing already. And I found a couple of cool websites like Product Design Tips. They do something similar. So they have resources for product designers. They link articles and videos and such. Design resources, they're more broad, but they also have a lot of design tools. Productdesignresource.com also does something similar. But they're more broad, and same with productdisrupt.com. Really cool websites, by the way, these are awesome. And then I did a feature audit. I said, okay, who's doing something similar to what I want to do? What is their navigation like? What is their landing page content like? Do they have an email list? Do they have a shop page? Do they have advertising? After that, I came to the conclusion that my areas of opportunity were to offer filtering, offer category-based architecture. The user should be able to save resources. They can have a dashboard. They can submit content, and they can comment. And then now I'm going to jump into the websites. So this is productdesignstack.com. So it's pretty much, again, like I've been talking, a resources for product designers to find articles, and you can filter by user research, UX design, UI design. And you can filter multiple categories at once. Like, for example, if I wanted to do user research, but just find a podcast, you can find it that way, or a podcast and article. So it's really just pretty much a simpler way to find the resources that you need in specific categories, even with case studies. And then now what I'm actually developing with MemberStack is people should be able to, well, people can actually like the content right now, and they should be able to save, but they can also submit the resources, they can log in, and they can sign up. And of course, I decided to play around with the back end before this demo, so now it doesn't want to work, as always. But yeah, so this is pretty much Product Design Stack, and it was built on Webflow. I also use, obviously a big part of this is JetBoost, and Chris is awesome. And then MemberStack. So yeah. I am done. Does anybody have, actually, let me keep my screen up. Does anybody have any questions?
I don't have any questions. I'm like, yes, this is really, really good. I think the filtering is like, yeah, really smart. Being able to like search for multiple filters at the same time to get you the content that you need is, yeah, really, really good. I love this.
Awesome, thanks, Dan.
I'd be interested, Emily, if you're thinking of, I mean, it's sort of the theme of the day, theme of the year, isn't it? But like building a community from this as sort of a base from which people can well, product designers can meet other product designers. Not sure if that's something you've thought about.
Sure, it's something that I have thought about. That's kind of where I was going with adding maybe commenting, and then from there sort of growing a community based off of that, and also the newsletter, which I have to actually have up, but I do have an option for people to sign up. But yeah, I think I've been thinking about that, thinking about how I'm going to organize it. But yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Awesome. So Fatuma's just chucked in a comment. So how do you source your content, Emily? How do you decide what is created?
Yeah, it's whatever I read. So I'm constantly reading things like on Medium or on Twitter. So it's actually cool because I have some, actually it doesn't have user research here for this one, but even Twitter. So if I find a thread on Twitter, I submit it as well, as long as it has to do with product design. So it's really things that I find on my daily sort of quest to learn more about product design. And also whoever, if somebody decides to submit content, they can as well.
That's great. And I've got a question from Vaughn. Anything you miss from WordPress, or will you never use it again?
No, I probably won't use it again. Do I miss it? Honestly, I'm so in love with Webflow. I can't even think about WordPress right now. So probably not.
Yeah, I think that's all. Unless anyone's, feel free to jump in.
I have a question.
Oh, yeah. Sure. Yeah.
How did you find the learning curve of Webflow?
It was really easy. I know some CSS, HTML, so that box model was really easy for me to grasp. I want to say it took me around a week of building my own portfolio to feel comfortable to try to create product design stack.
Cool, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Thanks for asking.
Thanks, Emily. Yeah, that's epic. Yeah, very, very envious and jealous of your Webflow skills. Wish I had them. Cool. So now we shall move on to just trying to find him. Oh, Thomas. So I think it's probably about 3 a.m. your time at the moment. So that's a huge.
Yeah, it is. Forgive me if I'm being a little quiet.
No worries. No, it's a massive effort to be here. So thanks so much. But yeah, take it away. Excited to hear more about why no code.
Thank you, everyone. Dan, Emily, Pierre, those were awesome. I'm actually in awe. I'm almost a little bit embarrassed. I feel like mine is so much simpler from what you guys have produced. A little backstory on me. By day, I'm a digital marketing manager. I've been a photographer for about 30 years. Back in the day, I don't know how many people who will remember products like this, but back in the day, I used one of the original no-code tools called FileMaker Pro, which is how I got my start in learning technology. Once upon a time, I actually started out with databases, which was kind of an advantage for me because I learned how to model data. And I moved into web development in the late 90s. As soon as the web became a thing, I taught myself how to code. I was a developer for many years, working at a major university, and I was also a photographer. I had my own photography business. And my wife, whose mom is from Japan, we moved back to Japan. And when we did, there were 2 job opportunities for me. One was a web development job, and one was a full-time staff photographer position. And those don't exist very, very much anymore. There's not very many full-time photographer positions anymore. Nowadays, everything is freelance. And so I thought, okay, well, this is kind of cool. I'll do this. So I did that for 7 years. And so I stepped out of the development space for a while. And then the next thing I know, I turned around and there was this whole new no-code thing happening. And it just spoke to me immediately, and I loved it. And I think the first thing I discovered was Airtable and Notion, and then Coda, and then off down the rabbit hole I went. And the next thing you know, I found the 100 Days of No Code. And I thought, okay, this is perfect for me, because if I don't have something that's going to force me to build something, I'm just going to tinker and never really go anywhere with this. And that's sort of where the project that I worked on came from. it wasn't really so much a business idea. It was more of I needed a project to work on. I'm very project based. If I don't have a real project to work on, it's hard for me to go anywhere. So that's where I came up with this. And so I decided whatever I do, it needs to be something, again, I know it's kind of the term now, the whole community based thing, but I remember years ago when I started my photography business, one of the things that helped me the most, and I never forgot it, I found an amazing community of people who literally transformed that process for me. And I kind of feel like I found that again with this no code community. Everyone has been so amazing, and it's really made the difference in terms of wanting to encourage people to build. And I thought I really want to play off of that. So yeah, so I guess I'll go in here and try and share my screen now. And of course, I don't know which one I'm sharing. So hopefully I'm sharing the right one. Do you guys see my screen now?
Not yet, Thomas.
Okay. I'm not sure why. All right, here we go. Do that one. Still nothing, huh?
Not yet. I can definitely share it for you if you want.
Yeah, go ahead if you would.
Sure. 2 secs. Let me just get it up. Yeah.
Because I'm running 2 screens now, which makes it more complicated as well.
Yeah, no worries at all. Just getting it up. 2 secs. Like, okay, right. So give me a sec. Okay, that should be sharing.
Okay, so can you guys see this? Okay, good. There we go. So this is built with Doric. It's funny because I know that Naya mentioned earlier that you should really not play with every single tool that comes out. I really got caught up in that. You guys have seen my comments I've been posting. I played with like every tool that I was a kid in a candy store and I just couldn't focus. I was all over the place. I built this site, I think, in 3 different products. I started out with Card, then I went to Doric, then I went to Softer, and I was really just all over the place. And finally, I thought, you know what? If I'm going to get this done, I got to just focus and just pick one. I chose Doric. Doric, there was just something about it. I don't know how to explain it. Card was beautiful. I loved Card. I think I would definitely use that moving forward for certain cases. But Doric just sort of, I just like the layout. Softer was really nice as well. So I've been working with Miriam over there, and I'm probably going to do some products with that as well. But Doric was nice. It just had the features that I wanted. So basically what I did was, I'm going to move this out of the way so I can see. I found that there was this debate going on in the community about what no code is, and for some reason the thought of why no code kind of came to me, and so I decided to pose it as a question. And once I did that, I thought, well, if I'm going to pose it as a question, I sort of have to I felt like I had to answer that question right up front. So I was like, you know, why not? And then I explained briefly what's happening. And as you move through the site, it pulls up. I decided to just simplify this as much as I could because I anticipated who's going to come into the site. Someone maybe who is just now hearing about the no-code movement. They don't know what it is, and they just want to find out a little bit more information. So I tried to keep it as basic as possible, but at the same time speak to what I felt were the basic groups of people that would come in. And I thought that the people who would come into this site would be hobbyists, designers, you know, people in startups, of course, and managers like myself who are constantly fighting with IT and the stranglehold that they have on creating within an enterprise. And I think one of the things that really spoke to me about no-code tools in the very beginning is that it really does empower people. from all walks of life and positions, no matter where you work. And I've always been about that. I mean, back in the early days when the Mac first came out, I remember all of my friends were buying PCs and I was buying Macs, and they just didn't understand why. And I was always like, well, because it just makes things easier. I can get things done faster. It empowers me. And this sort of felt the same way. So I approached this with the aspect of encouraging and supporting the community to learn. But I really wanted to sort of play off of this build in public as well and encourage people to share. And that's where I started curating different sources. I did not want to be just another sort of no code list of tools. I remember I was listening to a podcast and they were talking about there were too many list of tools out there. And I thought, okay, well, how could I make this a little bit different? And so I decided to focus on sort of what I consider the big three here, which is the Bubble Academy and Webflow University and Visual Dev School. Those were sort of the three biggest ones that I saw out there that are kind of connected to the tools. I used Pori connected to Airtable as the backend here. I felt like it looked better than just using the standard Airtable embed. I'm not totally happy with it. I still have some work to do with this, but I think it works so far as it is now. On mobile, it can get a little, I feel like sometimes it can get a little confusing because if you're using your thumb to scroll, you're scrolling within the embed and not within the actual site itself. And so sometimes you have to figure out which one to scroll. So I'm still working on that. And then I also wanted to highlight some of the cool stuff that people are doing. So in the next section, I actually brought in the showcase section. And again, I focused on some of the big ones, Adalo, Webflow, Bubble, because they have some amazing showcases. I didn't want to reinvent the wheel. I wanted to just show possible makers what they could make. And then I've been curating some on my own as well. Matter of fact, Emily, yours is going to go in here for sure. I'm actually going to put yours in here as well. And I'm going to put all of the apps I've heard today. I want to take them and put them in here because I think that's one of the best things about this is a little inspiration can go a long way and just sort of spurring the imagination and getting people to jump into something. And that's pretty much it. You know, again, it was done as a learning project, so I don't really have like a long-term business vision for it. I want to continue running it. It really is just in a way of supporting the community and staying involved with the community. And I'm already kind of planning version 2 and my next project that I'm working on as well. And that's about it.
Thanks so much, Thomas. That's great. Anyone got any feedback? Any ideas? Yeah, feel free to come off mute.
Yeah, I just want to say I really love it, man. I think it's just really nice and really clear. And I think there is this problem in the no code space or opportunity, which is there's so much going on that having actually a place where people can actually go to see the showcases of all the 3 different main tools or all the main things is actually a really good place. So you're almost curating the curated stuff, which which is really nice. So yeah, I really love it. Yeah, also a big fan of Doric as well. So yeah, really good use of it. And I didn't know you can embed Pori stuff, which is, yeah, I've never seen it before. So yeah, fantastic work there.
Thank you. Yeah, it was, I actually played a lot around with the embedding quite a bit. And Doric, I actually have a call with the founder of Doric next week. They are going to be offering Airtable integrations, and you'll be able to use Airtable like a standard CMS where I could drag in components and fields, which I feel like can really help me sort of reach the vision, the original vision I had, instead of using an embed, because the challenge with embeds is it can slow the site down sometimes, but it still looks great. And that's what I was looking for.
And what does version 2 look like?
Version 2 is where I want to really tap into that back using Airtable as a CMS backend, so that I can have a little bit more control over how I display the inspiration page. Particularly, I want to break Doric is going to be offering multiple pages, and I would like to be able to take the curated list and break them off into their own pages, so that then I have a little more control over them. And for example, I'd like to be able to have a featured inspirational page that I've recently found, and then have a list of other ones, and maybe break them into categories as well.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
thank you.
I love it, Thomas. It's certainly something I'm going to be, because something with 100 days is that we get lots of beginners, and I struggle to direct them to one thing that they should start with. And I think this is a great gateway into the space, and really like synthesizes it nicely. So love it. Love the work, and looking forward to 2.0.
It's funny you mentioned the gateway, and that was one of the things that I pointed down there. Also, I wanted people to realize that no code, no code can be kind of polarizing sometimes. I don't have a problem with coding. I think coding is still cool, and I wanted people to realize this can also be a great gateway into coding. And so I'm still going to focus on that a little bit as well, and letting people know that it's not an either or kind of thing.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, there's big space for both of us. So yeah, I completely agree.
Thank you.
Cool. Thanks so much, Thomas. That was awesome. Maybe you need to, yeah, hopefully you can stay on for the last sort of last 10 minutes before you get some sleep. But yeah, I'm really excited to pass over to Doc Williams. So yeah, take it away.
Times. All right, so hey everyone, nice to meet you. I know some of you, but I haven't been able to see all of you in person. So Thomas, it's great seeing you. Pierre, we talked on Twitter, but it's awesome to see everyone. And Emily, you did a great job. And really just everyone. So real quick, I'm going to go very quickly through this. Max told me I can't show everything that I work on. So I'm just gonna go through rapid fire of a couple projects that I'm working on currently. And so, yeah, let's just go from there. I'm going to share my screen. If something crashes or it looks bad, Max, just hit me up. So anyway, my name is Doc Williams, and I build 3 businesses with one no-code tool every single night. So I have a live streaming show. And what I do is I started just using no-code tools about 8 or 9 years ago. And then during 100 Days of No Code, the first time, Edmund told me like maybe I should start sharing my stuff. So I started doing that and started doing a show, and then we kind of went off to the races. So my whole site I built out of Notion. It does not look as good as everyone else's, I'll tell you that right now, but I love Notion and how easy it is and just embedding. So I use Restream, Paperform, Outgrow, and a bunch of other tools. So I'm going to kind of just show a couple different projects that I'm working on right now. So number one, if anyone's heard of AppSumo, I just built out their automation sequence for their AppSumo marketplace. So their redemption coupons and everything, I built it with Zapier and a couple other things. So when there's a new person that adds their product, they go through and need to do it through Zapier. I built that for them. I just built out their marketplace, the expert services using ShareTribe. And then if people see me on Twitter, I'm building out like 30 pieces of content and micro content all at the same time. I use repurpose.io. So that's how I do it with this. Let's see. Also too, I built a virtual mall with Google Sheets. So did that with Andrew out there. We built that one the other day. And then also too, we saw a need for IKEA and a couple things going on right there. So this guy, it looked really dumb to me. I thought that looking at the availability for IKEA and like what's open, what's shipping. And then I saw how much he was getting for his donations for like, yeah, he has 1,900 supporters for this. And I was like, you know what? If you have this kind of community, you can make a lot more money if you just made a job board using Pori. and going through that. So contacted him, started building out IKEA, Cheetah, and did that with Pori. And then I'm working on a Twitch beta in just Notion using Restream and that embed right now, and doing that into making it just everyone using their own widgets and having their own channel. So that way you could see the maker and what they're building and just have one stream on Notion. And then everyone would just pull out their own stream, and then you would see what time they're making their videos and all that kind of stuff. And again, yeah, so I'm a little bit all over the place. Dan has one of the best presentations, which totally ruined what I was going to do because now it looks like crap. But other than that, that's what I do. I like building things. I like trying to build this really quickly. And yeah, that's what I'm working on this week. I have 3 other projects, but they're not done yet. So that's what we're doing.
Cheers, Doc. That's awesome as always.
I think, you know what, Max, you need to like separately have a session just to demo Doc's project.
This is a problem I had. Yeah. He's got about 10 in the pipeline, and I didn't have the time for 10. So maybe next one is dedicated to Doc.
I timed myself, so I wouldn't go over.
Yeah, you need to do a Doc version of demo day.
By the way, Doc, I love the fact that you use Notion. I think I commented to you on Twitter about that. I think it's awesome. Everything doesn't have to be like a major design. I love the stream flow and just the flow of that. I thought it was super cool.
Thanks, man. Yeah, Notion. I pretty much changed my entire business over Notion. I was always in WordPress, but I think I just got burned out. But Notion, you can just build everything. So yeah,
agreed. It's good. Agreed. Yeah.
Thanks, man.
Hey Doc, as usual, blown away by your epic work ethic. I think it'd be nice to talk about like how you're able to build and do so much, because I think, yeah, you just showed like 5 or 17, I don't know how many, there's so many, and it's just to like let people know that because of the power of no code, you're able to work on a load of things, and also because you're a genius.
No. I'm doing this because I can't code and I can't do a lot of things. So it is definitely not that. But thank you. Yeah, maybe I will work on something like that.
Do you ever sleep is what I want to know.
I take a lot of naps. Sleep, here and go, you know. But naps, a couple hours here and there.
Awesome.
Thank you. And I'm going to have to collaborate with a lot of you. So if anyone, just hit me up on Twitter, anyone, if you're working on anything, I'm always looking to learn. And anyone that, with Bubble, I struggle immensely. So Pierre, I'm going to be talking to you. And so that's my next venture. Not to do it, no, but I need to know people that know it better than me so I can direct people to Bubble experts.
Hey Doc, it looks like we've got a request for you to just share a tinsy bit more on the IKEA idea. Just a tiny.
Oh,
yeah.
A
bit more depth. Yeah.
Let's see.
Yeah, there's demand. There's popular demand for this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me see about this. Okay, so what's happening over here? So this maker created the IKEA. Oh, basically, Pori, what I'm doing over here with Pori is I'm redeveloping some things. So over here, people are always asking like what they should be buying or something's out of stock. And what was happening in a subreddit group for IKEA was tons of people were asking, hey, this is out of stock. Can you go and buy this for me? Or is this located in your area? So I was talking to this maker. I was like, people are already signing up to find out the availability. If you then made a membership and people could either volunteer to either be a picker for that item, or you could submit different locations where, an item is, and, if you're in the area, there you go. So instead of going on Share Tribe and charging a percentage per item or, transaction fee, if you wanted it to do it really easily, he could just make a membership and then do it from there. So, Sam, I'm talking to Sam tonight because I have I need to find out some details on the Pori chart. So this one, I just basically jacked the board from the template from Pori, and then I'm changing everything out right now. So this one is, I already have the locations. Sam's got to tell me something, how to change something. So I'm going to change all the search locations to mimic the IKEA one over here to the IKEA locations here. And then instead of, posting a request, that would be posting what do you want at that location. And then the person can just message, the person that posted what they want in IKEA, and then they would go from there. But he's already got the audience. He already had them, and people keep referring to this site. So I was like, you can just make extra money just by doing that extra resource to connect everyone, because people in the community and the subreddit was already talking to you. So that's what I'm finishing tonight. Once Sam, I don't know what time it is in Australia, but in like 12 hours, she's going to be helping me on that project. Yeah. Hopefully that helps.
Hey, Doc, it says that it's being updated every minute. How are you updating that in the background?
Oh yeah, so that one actually, the guy that created that one, he just pulled basically the APIs and just had it on that way, and then he just displayed it right there. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Exactly right. Yeah. So that should be done by Monday. We'll see.
Awesome.
Actually, just gave me an idea for Pori use over here.
Oh, good times.
Okay. Well, thanks so much, Doc, for that. That was epic. I'm gonna have to wrap up. We're hitting 7:30 or whatever time it is for you in various time zones. So yeah, I just want to quickly run through like next steps after this event. So the follow-up. So basically, we will add each of these projects to our website, so you can take a closer look at them and start, hopefully using them yourselves or posting any additional feedback. And then we will be uploading the recording of this event next couple of days, so you can share it or take another look. Especially, you may want to look at Doc's again, because he went fast, so he went through a lot. So that's one that you may want to look at again. But our next demo day will be on the 24th of September. So if you'd like to soft launch your no-code project on next one or another one, or just be part of the community, you can grab membership here, which I'll just post the link in the chat. And then I'll be sifting through any comments, any stuff that I've missed in the chat to send over to our demoers. I'll just put the link to membership here. And then I'd just like to say a massive thank you to our sponsor, Hello Guru, who made this event possible. Again, I'm just gonna chuck their link in the chat, and they are a no-code university. Thanks for the keynote speakers for all the wisdom you've shared, the demos for the inspiring projects, and of course, everyone that's come to support. If you've enjoyed the event, any love and sharing on social media is much appreciated for not only 100 days, but hopefully the projects. And hopefully any feedback as well, so we can make this event better next time. And then lastly, I'll shut up in a minute, but lastly, those here that are new to this space, to the no-code space, and are curious about finding out more and want to get some help getting started, then feel free to message me on Twitter or email me, and I'll definitely help you sort of get started and take the first steps into no-code. So unless anyone has got anything else they want to say, that is it from me. But yeah, let me just post my Twitter handle in the chat so you can reach out. But yeah, thanks guys so much. Really enjoyed tonight, and hopefully you did too.
All right, everyone.
Thank you,
Thanks
Max.
for having me, Max.
Yeah.
Good to see everyone.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Yeah.
Bye.